Thank you so much, Nathan, for having me on your program. I really appreciate it. This is our 11th year. It's the 11th annual Rock, Rattle, and Drum Powwow.
Wow.
And it's a big event.
Hmm.
And we had it here for the first time in Bennington last year
Uh-huh.
in 2015. And it was a wonderful success. And the veterans loved the powwow so much that they wanted to have us back.
Yeah.
So a powwow is a gathering. It's really a social gathering of Native people and non-Native people coming together to celebrate the very rich culture of First Nations people.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of fun. There's music, there's dance, there's arts and crafts, there's drumming, but there's also a ceremonial aspect that's a very powerful part of the powwow called the Grand Entry, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
But I just want everyone to know they're so welcome. This is a family event. It's colorful, it's educational, it's entertaining, and everybody comes in and has a really good feeling. That's the point. It's a really good feeling, very affordable event. So
Yes.
thank you for having us, and I'm so happy to talk about it today.
Yes. Well, I unfortunately missed it last year, and I certainly won't miss it this year.
Oh, you'll be there.
Yes.
I'd love to have you.
So, what are they have a part here that says the grand entry, 1 p.m. on both Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th.
Yeah, so I'm happy to tell you a little bit about how the powwow goes.
Good.
And yes, it's on August 13th and 14th,
Hmm.
and the gates open at 10 a.m. So if you come right at 10, you'll hear some beautiful flute music,
Oh.
and all the vendors are open, and it's a very sweet time to come in and walk around and meet everybody. We have flute playing, we'll have storytelling, and then closer to 1, about 12 o'clock, we'll have the Aztec dancers. And they're
Oh.
an all-time favorite. There are about 50 dancers that come up from New York City
Is that
in
right?
full regalia.
Wow.
And regalia, they don't use the word costume, so they make their own regalia with beadwork and feathers, and everybody loves them. So they'll be performing right before what you just asked about, the Grand Entry.
Oh.
And the Grand Entry is the official beginning of the powwow, where all the Native American dancers and all the veterans line up, and they carry the staff. And this is the staff that will actually be at the powwow. It's a
Oh.
peace staff,
Uh-huh.
and there are other staffs and flags. And that's the official beginning of the powwow. That's the ceremonial beginning. And the master of ceremonies, who's Aaron Athey, he's been with us for a decade now, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Big guy, Mohegan, you can't, mess with him. But he's a wonderful sweetheart.
Uh-huh.
And he'll announce everything. So the dancing begins with the drums that sing very special songs, and then they come in dancing in a circle. And that's when everybody stands, and we honor the First Nations people, and then we also honor the veterans who put their lives on the line for
Yeah.
our freedom.
Uh-huh.
So when those people come together, it is so powerful. I'm telling you, there's rarely a dry eye in the house. I mean, I've been doing this now for 11 years. When I go to our own Grand Entry, which I never miss,
Yeah.
or others, it's just mind-blowing. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we always invite veterans to participate. You do not have to be Native American. If you're a veteran in Bennington or beyond, who's ever hearing this,
Yeah.
you're welcome to participate in this. So we encourage veterans to come because it's an honoring, and it's something you'll never forget. There are special songs, there are special dances, and it's an amazing, amazing thing.
Yeah.
So the veterans of Bennington will be present. Certainly, I have to say thank you to the Veterans Home, the Vermont Veterans Home. Everyone there is so helpful, so welcoming.
Uh-huh.
Everybody is great. And we love the veterans. And as a matter of fact, there was a Native American veteran, Lee Lewis, he passed a few months ago, but he
Really?
hung in there. He was the oldest living resident who was card-carrying Indian. And
Wow.
Fidel Moreno, of course, Fidel is the co-producer and really why the powwow's happening in the first place.
Yeah.
He befriended Lee Lewis like a brother or an uncle.
Oh.
And they were very, very close. And we honored Lee at the last powwow. He
Uh-huh.
was out there. He might have been in a wheelchair, but he sat up and he was in the center. And I'm telling you, it was gorgeous, gorgeous. And then he passed shortly after. But Lee Lewis was there, and I know he's watching over and blessing us in this event.
Yes.
And this event seems to have absolutely a spirit of its own. It just carries on and on. There have been miraculous things happening at these powwows, and everyone feels good. But that's what I recommend to people. If you're coming, try to be there at noon so you can experience the Aztec dancers for the first time, because there's nothing like it. Certainly nothing like it in Bennington, but really, they're amazing. They're amazing, and they love it. They come every year. And then the grand entry, where you have the veterans, you have the staff people, so the head man, head woman, head youth dancers, all the dancers line up in their regalia and present themselves, honoring their particular tribe, because this is intertribal. So we welcome all tribes. We are in the land of Abenaki, so we honor Abenaki people, and Chief Longtoe I will be with us again, Roger Longtoe, and his beautiful wife Linda, and there'll be other Abenaki dancers too. But here we have Mohican, Penobscot, Mohawk, it just runs the gamut. Of course, there are hundreds and hundreds of tribes. And so if you're Native American and hearing this program, you're welcome to come. It's free for you, and you get a free meal and free camping. So if you're a dancer, come on over. And I want to make sure on the same breath that if you're not Native, you are more than welcome. This is for Native and non-Natives to come together and really celebrate life. And what's interesting is this year, the theme is, we are the ones we've been waiting for, the 11th hour. And that came to both Fidel and I.
Oh, wow.
It's the 11th powwow. Our world appears to be in the 11th hour with all that's happening, with the environment, with war, with people, all that's going on. The election's coming up. We don't want to go there, I guess, but right. But it is the 11th. So we both thought 11 is one all over again. So we are the ones we've been waiting for. And maybe, a little later I could read a bit of the Hopi prophecy that quote comes from. And actually, Fidel made a beautiful film, We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For, as well. So actually, I'll speak, maybe you could all play it at some point, because it's only a few minutes long.
Oh, certainly.
So that was a long-winded answer.
I see.
But I'm very passionate about this event, because there's really nothing like it. It's very inexpensive. It's $5 for seniors and youth, $1 for 10 and under, free for little children, and $8 for a regular ticket. That's for an all-day event. And I should also mention that Arvil Bird is coming back, and he's this wonderful, wonderful storyteller, musician, and he plays violin. I mean, it's very unusual, and flute.
Wow.
So he's a showstopper. He's a showstopper, and you could look him up online, arvilbird.com, I believe, and watch his videos and look at all his photographs. And if you check out our Facebook page too, the 11th annual Rock, Rattle, and Drum Powwow, I think it's Powwow Bennington, we'll keep giving you updates, as well as healingwinds.net. We'll be updating that soon too. So.
Well, it's interesting historically. We think of all these Indian tribes way back in our, who knows whether it was right history, of different Indian tribes warring against each other, and now we have this total acceptance of all the tribes into this wonderful event. And do you have any sense of where in history the powwow concept began to develop?
Well, that is an excellent question, and I'm sorry Fidel isn't here to answer it. But I think a very, very long time ago, actually, because even on the reservations, if you go to the reservations, they have their own powwow for their own tribe. And the public is always welcome to that. So I'm going to say, just about as long as Native Americans have been on this land, I believe there's been the powwow. Powwow meaning to get well, gather together, make friends. And also, when we first came together, I said Yate, because we have Navajos that come as well. And there's, of course, the gathering, huge powwows out west.
Really? Yeah.
But I'm happy to tell you that a lot of people who go to the powwows out west said they love this one too. So that's great. And a word they use is Yate. Yate meaning hello, good afternoon, good evening, welcome, may peace be with you. So I would say, hundreds. I mean, this is a very old. It may not have always been as colorful as it is now, because now I know I've had some people even ask me, why is it so flashy?
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. This is their pride and joy.
Right.
The feather work, the bead work is what they do, and it honors their family and their culture, and their people. So it's very colorful, and and every tribe has their signet, their regalia.
Right.
And we learn too, there are certain rules and regulations. So for example, we're not to touch a feather if it drops off. We don't take we can take photographs with the Indians if we ask.
Yeah.
And the MC is in charge of letting people know, when you can take photos and when not. But actually, that's an excellent question to look at the history of just the powwow itself. I'm going to do a little research on that and give you a better answer. But I would say as long as there have been Native America, it's something that there are ceremonies, like there's Native American church, there's the sweat lodge. There are different ceremonies that go along with different tribes in different ways. But the powwow is more of a social gathering of people to make new friends and meet your old friends. That's how it's kind of said like that.
Yeah. And as you intimated earlier, I think the powwow is certainly a very important, appropriate, type of celebration to have, which ties us to the earth and the whole concept that we have that the Native Americans knew how to take care of the earth. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why the powwow, I think, really does have a spirit of its own, and that it's happening every year no matter what, because people now more than ever are seeking ways to reconnect with our Mother Earth, to reconnect with Great Spirit, the Spirit of God, whatever of your understanding, Mother Nature, and also one another. And there is that spiritual good feeling at these events. And I'll tell you, I speak with a lot of people, Nathan. People are calling me every day asking about the powwow.
Yeah.
And people always feel humble and sad for how our First Nations people were treated right here on this land.
Sure.
I mean, atrocities. So many, were killed, and we all know that. But that's not, the powwow is really about celebration and the joy of these First Nations people and all the wisdom they bring. And being the 11th hour, we're looking to have a little more education, some educators and more storytellers, and a wisdom council, so people can ask questions about what's going on. I mean, certainly prophecy after prophecy has been given by natives, and that these are the times. So it's time to wake up, they say, and really take care of our environment and our Mother Earth and cherish her. I've had the privilege of sitting up in ceremony with many Native American elders, and I've had the privilege of being in the presence of folks like Chief Orville Looking Horse. These people are in constant prayer for their people, but now all people. So it's like a time, I know there's a northeast corridor where a door is opening, where this wisdom is coming through for everybody, because we need to do something. We really need, it is the 11th hour, and I think we're all aware that things are changing. We have to do something. As I know there's a great group, 350.org, in Bennington and certainly in Vermont, and it's national. And Native America, I know they've had this wisdom and they've carried this wisdom a long time.
Yes.
A long, long time. So we're going to have booths talking and speaking to, what people can do or what these elders are saying at this time. Important, very important.
Yeah. So you had mentioned something about the staff, if that's what it's called, that would be in the forefront of the procession?
It will be. We're looking at a staff that was made by an elder, a grandfather. This was gifted to Fidel many, many years ago. And there's actual buffalo here and eagle feathers, very, very sacred eagle feathers. And there's horsehair and beadwork. This has been to many peace gatherings in every one of our powwows. It's a very, very special piece. It's an old piece. and it will be at the head of the procession, because that's what the powwow, we're wanting to move and walk and dance towards peace, where we can all respect one another and honor one another and really care for one another. That's what it's about, and that's
Yeah.
why I think these days, people are really asking about this powwow, because we need more of this. We need
Yes.
more of this kind of honoring and sacred understanding of why we're here, why we're together. If it's not good for one of us, it's not good for all of us, and to really
Yeah.
take care of one another. And indigenous people, at their roots and their wisdom, that's what they do. They're very much aware of taking care of Mother Earth, even in the midst of what's gone on for so many years.
Yes.
And it's true that there's still a lot of anger. In some ways, it's very difficult. There's a lot of activism that hasn't gone very far. Frankly, a number of years ago, this staff in our teepee, the Healing Winds teepee, was at a peace conference in New Lebanon at the Hancock Shaker Village. And I had an opportunity to meet Dennis Kucinich, if you remember,
Oh, yeah.
Dennis is,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that this whole, this conference, he was a guest, keynote speaker. I didn't realize he was being filmed.
Yeah.
I wasn't on camera, thank goodness, but I asked a question. I was like this, and he asked me to ask a question. And he was talking about peace, the Department of Peace,
Oh, yeah.
removing all of our, the veterans or military out of Iraq and Afghanistan. And I actually asked, I said, forgive me, Dennis Kucinich, how can you speak about peace in this country when we haven't addressed what we did to Native America in our own country? And it was a powerful moment. He paused and
Yeah.
he said, I would work with you on that. And I actually haven't pursued that, because frankly, it's like any healing. You need to go to the root cause. And a very long time ago, we killed a lot of the First Nations people.
Yeah.
And there's never been an official formal apology.
Really?
Nothing. No. I mean, various tribes have been gifted land or some money,
Yeah.
but not a national apology. So that may or may not still happen. And I know a lot of Native America just, they have to forgive also and keep going. They just forgive and keep going.
Yeah.
But here actually makes me think of something that was written and read last year. It's a proclamation from the state of Vermont, from the House of Representatives, just giving awareness to this powwow being held at the, here it says,
Really?
that the General Assembly congratulates the Rock, Rattle, and Drum powwow in Bennington on its anniversary. It was our 10th. And that it's so beautiful that the Secretary of State be directed to the resolution to Healing Winds and to the Vermont Veterans Home. So you can take a look at this. That's something official that our
Wow.
Representative Kaya Morris read last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
So we do what we can. We do what we can. Fidel Moreno is a filmmaker, and he helped overturn a Supreme Court decision so that Native Americans could have the use of their own medicine in ceremonial situations, because the government was taking it away from the Indians. They just took away. And so he did a little work like that many years ago. So yeah, important. So any, even just coming to this powwow and participating, and I should speak for a moment about the Native American arts and crafts. You asked earlier about the vendors. We have families that travel all summer, maybe through the fall, and there are families that make their own arts and crafts. They make their own wares and they sell them at the powwow. That's how they, earn a living in this world. And they're with us every powwow. We have people coming from Florida, from Maine, from out west. I spoke with a gentleman from Phoenix, and they make beautiful jewelry. So for those who, love Native American jewelry, this is a place to get your silver. Beautiful work at much less expensive, I'll tell you, because they're, it's coming right directly from them. Beautiful turquoise, beautiful beadwork, but not just that, all kinds of things. Beautiful pottery.
Yes, this is really
beautiful
exceptional.
beautiful dresses and shirts, and from all nations. They come, and last year they enjoyed the Veterans Home so much that this is the truth. Every single vendor said, I want this spot again. So that's a good sign. I don't want to be over there. I want this spot. And they're all coming back. They're all coming
Amazing.
back, and then some. And then, of course, I have to mention the great food, because I wait all year for Frank's buffalo burgers
Oh.
and his Navajo tacos and all of his drink. The food is exceptional.
Wow.
So have patience when you get on the line, because it's worth waiting for if there's a line, or come a little earlier. And I also want to mention something very important for those who were here last year, and that this year the parking is taken care of by the North Shaft
Lions Club.
Lions Club. Thank you. And we will have shuttles this year. So if there's a little shuttle from the parking lot to the main gate if you need that help, because it's a little bit of a walk. If you don't, then you can run on over. But we will have more people at the admission to make it easier so people come in, and those shuttles to help people get there. Yes.
Marvelous, marvelous. So, tell us a little bit about this, the first people in illustrated history of American Indians.
Yeah. There's a wonderful man who lives in the Berkshires, David King, his wife Sharon King. I wish to acknowledge them. He's written many, many books, maybe 100 books.
Oh, wow.
I mean, many, and his passion is First Nations people. And this is one of his books. I thought it was such a beautiful cover.
Yes, yes. It is.
And they'll be at the powwow. He's very dear to us. Very, very dear. They both are. Wonderful, wonderful people. He's a historian. So his books are available in local bookshops. And actually, there's a photo of Fidel and myself on one of them. I don't have it with me. But it's Indians in the Berkshires. And he took a little photo of us because, here we are, bringing attention and awareness to Indians.
Yes.
Now, of course, in Vermont, the Shires of Vermont. So also, this is last year. I don't know if you can see it, but this is last year's program that was in the paper. We hope to do something similar this year, and the entire program will be available to you, hopefully in the paper. If not, we will have a program for you at the main gate, which gives the whole schedule, schedule of the powwow. Saturday, the gates open at 10 a.m., and they close about 7. And on Sunday, they open at 10 again and close a little earlier, about 6.
Yeah.
But it's a full day of music, of very wonderful drums. I mean, the drumming, they're great drums.
Yeah.
Incredible. One drum group comes up from New Jersey, and one comes from Onondaga, else in Penobscot, Maine.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a host drum, the Res Dogs, and they're with us almost every year. They are, and Red Blanket. They're our honor drum. And other drums are welcome too. We just have to speak to the MC. He schedules the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he tells jokes that are fun. And there's storytelling throughout the day. We are going to have, I believe, some eagles this year, some raptors, some birds, and that'll be fun for the children. There are a lot of activities for the children. I even believe the Greater Peace and Justice group is going to be there. So there are going to be raffle tickets for your group, and also in support of. And here's a big thing. People might be looking at the dates, because yes, it's August 13th and 14th. And what else is happening that weekend? The Battle Day weekend is that weekend.
Yeah.
And what's very exciting is that we are going to embrace both. We could have just had one or the other, but actually it worked itself out that we'll embrace both. So it's going to be a very big, exciting weekend for Bennington to really, to just honor both. I think it's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And we have an actor. He almost came this morning, but it just didn't work out. A reenactor, so he will also be. Well, the dancers are there in full regalia, but he'll be in regalia as well. As an educator. And then of course we have Arvil Bird, and we had all the different dances. May it be a jingle dance, or there are different dances throughout the day, and all of that is scheduled. And there's a children's candy dance too. So and here's something important, we have social dances. So you are allowed, even if you're not Native American, when the MC opens it to the public for social dancing, they'll show you what to do. But there are circle dances, and my gosh, what fun to feel that, the rhythm, and to move with the authentic, it's the authenticity of it, you know, of the culture, of the beauty, of the music, the dance. You feel the aliveness, the passion for our Mother Earth. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's very visceral. You can feel it. And that's why we keep doing it, because it just has a life of its own, and people love it. People love this event. So I recommend coming early if you can. We put out 400 to 600 chairs. If you have your own favorite chair, you can bring it. There's shade for people. There's plenty of food. As I mentioned, there'll be local food as well as Native American food. And we will have a few of the not-for-profit organizations from the town, you know, that we're supporting in one way or another present there. So
Yes.
come on down. I mean, that's it. This is an invitation to Bennington, all of your viewers, to come down. If you haven't experienced the powwow, you are more than welcome. It's a lot of fun. It's just a good time. And you can talk with Native America if you're interested. Everybody's there to talk with you and, you know, share stories and make new friends.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a way to connect to a greater reality that some of us probably aren't really part of.
Well, quite honestly, I was there. I didn't see this coming for myself. I was a concert producer for many, many years in the Berkshires for a long time in New York. And then when I met Fidel and learned about the powwow, I had never even been to a powwow. So people have wondered that. No, I didn't know about them, but once I experienced one of them, you know, I fell in love too with the culture and the beauty of it. The beauty way. And there's a wonderful song, I don't know whether we'll hear it or not. There's a wonderful dance too, which I'd love to teach you. And it's beauty, the beauty way of beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty below, and beauty above, beauty all around me. Encircles us with love. And that's ultimately what we feel at these events, when there's that kind of respect and exchange. And, you know, frankly, what makes this very, very special and powerful is that we are at the Veterans Home. I mean, it brings, you know, it makes me choke up now. Because there are people there who gave service for many, many years, and here they are. And last year, some of our Native American dancers actually went inside and performed for those who couldn't come out. This year we're hoping to have more come out, but frankly we will also arrange for music and dance to be brought inside the Veterans Home. So a veterans powwow is for me even that much more powerful. You know, because they are now peacemakers. So there's, you know, there's something transformative about this event and very healing.
Yeah, that's marvelous. So what's this buffalo head over here on the
Oh my
staff?
goodness. Yeah, this is a beautiful staff, and this belongs to Fidel. It's a walking stick, a talking stick, and isn't that just great?
Oh, that is marvelous.
It's beautiful. It was carved by a Native American friend, and this is very, you know, it's beautiful beadwork, and it's a powerful piece.
So give us a little insight into the concept of the talking stick, or the practice of Indians apparently doing that kind of conversation.
Holding the stick and being present in the moment where it's your turn and your opportunity to express yourself and share, and then everyone else is quiet and listening, really listening, one person speaking at a time. Imagine, you know, if we would all do that, to really respect one another. When you're holding this, it is your honor, your respect to speak your truth, and you pass it on to the next person, and they express theirs. So, you know, it's an opportunity to articulate yourself in connection, you know, with spirit and with nature, recognizing one another as equal and to honor one another. My goodness, we could use to pass a few of those sticks around in our world right now. Can you imagine if we
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but it's an honor. it's sacred
Mm-hmm.
to speak and to converse, to really hear one another
Yes.
on a different level, deeper level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. At this point, I'm almost thinking, well, wow, we should probably have a powwow every week instead of every year.
Well, yeah, not a bad idea,
Uh,
really, or some form of ceremony
Yeah.
with that kind of respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting too because I was a vegetarian for many, many, many years,
Mhm.
and I have a friend who's a homeopathic doctor who used to say, "Oh, you should eat buffalo meat," and I was like, "Never." But when I met Fidel and I came together with Native American, with dancers and singers
Uh-huh.
and elders and ceremony, I started eating buffalo, and
Uh,
there's a strength, there's a power to that
Uh-huh.
buffalo. So it's very grounding and very strong. So I don't eat it as much as I would even like to, I think.
Mhm.
But if you come to the powwow, and if you eat buffalo or eat meat, do try a buffalo burger.
Yes, well.
It's an experience unto itself. It's wonderful.
Mhm.
It's wonderful. But I can't stress enough what a fun experience this is.
Mhm.
And children love it, youth love it. There are a lot of people in the area that even have a little Native American blood, just
Yeah.
even if it's a little,
Mm.
it'll wake up and sing to you, and you can talk to people. And don't be shy. You can go up to people and talk with them about your own heritage
Yeah.
or ask questions. And even if you don't have any Native American blood at all, that's fine too. You are so welcome. That's what this is for.
Mhm.
This is for the public to have an experience. I
Yeah.
mean, that I wish, like you said, was more available on a weekly basis. And if you're really a powwow person, you can go to powwows.com or Wandering Bull, and there are lists of powwows, and
Oh.
ours is on there. So there are
Oh.
powwows every weekend, but not necessarily, close to here.
Mhm.
But ours is the weekend of August 13th and 14th, and gates open at 10. And it's incredibly affordable for people. It's $8, $5, and $1 to come in for a full day of colorful, educational, entertaining experience.
Yeah.
Arvel Bird is a big favorite with people. Everybody loves Arvel.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Arvel. You can't not love Arvel. He's a brilliant, charismatic musician and storyteller. He has a lot to share.
Uh-huh.
And the Aztec dancers are great. And they're very, very friendly. So don't hesitate to go up to them and, ask
Yeah.
questions. And come and, take advantage of all the beautiful vendors that are there, that have
Mhm.
traveled to be there.
Mhm.
I know there are people who come back to see certain vendors once a year
Oh.
because they buy gifts for any holidays coming up,
Yeah.
birthdays, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, what's interesting is this powwow started in all places in Pittsfield. And the Mohicans came, and the mayor at the time gave the Mohican Indians a key to the city.
Huh.
Because, the Mohicans many, many years ago were booted out. I mean, they were asked to leave, and now their tribe is in Wisconsin.
Oh.
But the Stockbridge Muncie tribe of Mohicans was based in this area and the Berkshires.
Wow.
So they were invited to be our head drum, and they were there. So we actually had this powwow 2 years in Pittsfield. Then we were in Lenox, and that was a bigger event even. We had the full powwow, but we also had a music festival. And we've had people like Joanne Shenandoah and Bill Miller and Indigenous, as well as Joseph Firecrow and Arvel Bird. These have been our favorite musicians. So we were in Lenox, and then from Lenox we moved to Stephentown for 2 years. Stephentown, New York. It's not too far from here.
Yeah. Very
And that was a little crazy because the first year it rained so much before the powwow that the powwow grounds were actually underwater.
Oh my gosh.
That's a story I'll come back to. But it was miraculous, biblical in proportion, frankly, because the land dried right before the powwow. So Creator has something, to do with all this. It turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And then we were in Adams, of all places, for 2 years. Oh no, I'm sorry, Lanesboro.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Lanesboro, on the way up to Mount Greylock, the top of Mount Greylock,
Yeah.
on the Wurtis Farm. And there we had a little tornado threat, and that's another story. But it all went well, and no one was hurt, and that was, great. And then we were in Adams for 2 years. and then in Bennington. So we've been moving along a trail, like a trail the Indians would be going on,
Oh yeah.
because they don't really stay put. You know, they
Right.
kept moving, and so we've been on that trail
Oh, what an interesting
coming
concept.
north. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So it's been, just great, and miraculous things happened along the way. So, for example, when we were in Lanesboro, there was also a little church that was closed for a while, but then they said, well, we'll open if we can build a shrine to Tekakwitha, and she was recently ordained the first Native American saint, a young lady
Oh wow.
saint. And it was so funny because here we're showing up to do the powwow at the same time there's a little church building a shrine to a Native American saint.
Wow.
What are the chances? So that,
Yes.
it's been that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask for everyone, however you do it, to think of or pray for good weather.
Yes.
Because that makes all the difference in the world.
Uh-huh.
August 13th and 14th, have sunny weather, maybe not so hot, a little cooler,
Mm-hmm.
but at least, that the sun's out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So on a bigger general area, has there been any other initiative that you know of to try to create a Department of Peace in Washington? It seems the Native American community would be pushing for that all the time.
Yeah, I think, that is a great thought.
Mhm.
I know that Marianne Williamson has been involved with that. I know that Dennis Kucinich has been involved. I know that there are Native American activists, and forgive me because I probably won't remember their names at the moment, but Chief Orville Looking Horse being one.
Uh-huh.
A number of them have been to the White House
Uh-huh.
and have had conversations, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There have been climate change conferences. I know Fidel filmed one,
Yeah.
in the White House. But I'm not sure what's going on there.
Right.
Really. As a matter of fact, that would be a great question. That's another little homework assignment I have, to look into it a little deeper.
Mhm.
But I know they've expressed themselves.
Mhm.
I know there are many, many times when they've been at a podium, may it be in front of the Senate or the House of and
Yeah.
speaking to what's going on.
Mhm.
And it's needed.
Mhm.
It's needed.
Yeah.
It might be a great time to encourage,
Yeah.
any Native American
Mhm.
activists to speak out more.
Sure.
To speak out more right now. But it's happening. It's happening, because if you look up Orville Looking Horse, he's had the opportunity to meet presidents.
Mhm.
So he's out there doing
Yeah.
that work. And I know there have been other very great activists that have recently passed, and they worked all their lives to make people more aware of Native America, but also in just creating peace.
Yeah.
Even amongst themselves, because, some things that are going on in reservations now are heartbreaking. So a lot of healing is needed. A lot of healing is still needed.
Mhm. Yeah. Also, reflecting on the historical development, the people from Europe coming to to this continent to settle it.
Yes.
In a way, you say, well, when you go to somebody else's country, you should respect them and maybe emulate them, which is not what happened here.
Not what happened. I mean, you could speak to that too, because you know a lot of what went on.
Right.
It didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. What I've learned to do is, wherever you are, to honor the people of that land first.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. That's what I've learned to do.
Yes.
If you're a Mohican territory, you honor the Mohican. If it's another territory, you honor those Indians. Whether you're here on the West Coast, there were First Nations people across the country.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the education is not there. I mean, it is. So I know there could be teachers listening, and I know there is a curriculum offered. I've just always encouraged more of that.
Oh yes.
More of that.
Yeah, yeah.
If young people really knew what went on, and then how can we do it differently? How can we turn things around? How can we support even Native American communities now, those that are closest to us, and have that kind of relationship? I mean, that's a big project, and
Yeah.
certainly Healing Winds, Fidel especially, would take the teepee and go to various schools. And he's worked with young children, and he's worked in high schools, and he's worked in universities with the teepee and the talking stick. And I've seen it. I've seen people with all kinds of problems and situations sit around a fire and hold that stick and express. It's like there's an alignment, and they express themselves in a way they might be afraid to otherwise.
Yeah.
I've seen that with young people. So more of that in schools, please, and in communities. But I love that. I love that. Maybe that's something we do here through even Greater Peace and Justice or the Interfaith Council, to bring in a little more of that Native American wisdom and opportunity in schools and just in the community itself. Unity within community. Honestly, there's nothing like sitting in a teepee. I say I was from New York City, and kind of a material girl. It's been a while, but the way I see it and say it is that, may it be God, Great Spirit, however, took me by the nape of the neck and said, now you're going to learn about Native American ways. And I gave up a lot, and I sat in teepee ceremonies for many, many years, right there on Mother Earth. And what I've learned from the elders is everything you need is in that teepee. You're sitting on the precious mother.
Right.
You are drinking and praying over the holy water of life. You're breathing in the precious air, and the sacred fire is right there. And the prayers go into the fire and up to, heaven to be answered, up to God. So powerful. It's powerful. And people come in with their various individual issues, but I'll tell you, by morning, because it is an all-night ceremony, those prayers are answered, and you feel it and you see it, and the connection is there, and then everyone is family. So, Mitakwie o Yasin. Mitakwie o Yasin is a Lakota phrase for we are all related. And that's what the staff, and this Buffalo Talking, so that's what they represent too. How we are all related. We are one family. And so I encourage you to come down, everybody, to this event, because it's right here in Bennington. Somehow you conjured it up, Nathan.
Right.
You brought us to you, and everyone is coming to have a great time on that weekend. And to feel this, you take it home with you. That is a great gift you receive. You experience the music, the dance, the storytelling, the great arts and crafts and food. And I would say most of all, the spirit that you feel, that you take home with you and go forth into your community with that good feeling. Always is that way. Always is that way. When we had the powwow in Lanesboro, it was really something, because I stepped into I'm usually at the main gate, and I stepped in my car. I turned on my car for some reason, and I heard tornado about to hit Pittsfield. I was like, my God, because we saw these clouds, but I mean, what do? You work all year on an event, and then there's a tornado warning. And I actually got out of the car, and there was Mayor Bianchi. So I remember putting out my arm and shaking his hand and welcoming him to the powwow grounds. And I remember saying, by the way, I just heard a tornado's about to hit your city. And he was like, oh, that's exciting. And I'm not putting him down. It was like, wow. So I remember going to the police and the fire, department, and this was a Saturday, and then ultimately to the farmer, who said, well, you could bring the people into the barn, but what good would that do, So it was pretty amazing. I told you earlier, I went to the Native Americans, and some of them actually had their little weather apps, and some of them you could just see it, and it was funny, but they said, this wasn't funny. He goes, well, once you could see the clouds, you don't move. We're going to stay with our booths, with our teepee, with our tents. And I was like, okay, well, here was the miracle. We had the grand entry. People were in there drumming and dancing. And the clouds did not start moving until the moment the flags were retired. I mean, it was something else. We're watching these clouds, and the whole grand entry happens. And then once it's over, the drum stops beating, these clouds started moving towards us, and everybody ran. And luckily it wasn't a tornado. It broke up, and we had thunder and lightning and rain. I was soaked, but I was ecstatic because, at that point I just wanted everyone to be safe. But even there, how Great Spirit was watching over us, we were safe. And then the next day the powwow was huge. I mean, there were so many people, even driving around through the mud, people got there. So I tell you, it happens, rain or shine.
Yeah.
And there is some, great spirit watching over these events. So come down, take a little bit of that good feeling or a lot of that good feeling home with you, and make friends with the vendors because they're wonderful people. Make friends with the dancers. Even the MC, great guy, come up and say hi to Erin. Our head man, head woman, they're all there to talk with you, to take photos, and other dancers too. So if you're a dancer, come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time.
Yeah.
So, and this is the 11th annual.
Yeah.
Many years.
Yeah.
Many years.
1 on 1.
Yeah. 11 is 1 all over again. So it's, moving into the second decade, but because of the times we're in, and it really feels like an 11th hour. This is a time to look at Native America and to have that experience.
Yes.
And to see what can we do to really take care of our Mother Earth at this time, and what can we do to take care of one another.
Right.
And to heal and to forgive anything in the way from your having that experience of love and care and compassion. Anything that's in the way, this is a time to heal it. It is the 11th hour.
Yes, this could be a big answer to a lot of those people who say, what can I do? What can I do? And it sounds like this is precisely the answer, or part of the answer for them.
Yes, I'd even love to share with you a little poem. It's the Hopi Prophecy poem.
Oh, sure.
Because the theme of our powwow this year is the 11th hour. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Here's the Hopi Prophecy. You have been telling people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour, and there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, this could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know the river has its destination. The elders say, we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey come to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. See, I can't say it without a dry eye.
No,
we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yes.
It's up to each and every one of us. Not just this government or that or this party or that party. It's up to us to take care of this world, our mother, our earth, one another. Make sure that each and every one of us is fed, that we have water, that we have education, that we have clothing and shelter.
Yeah.
And the beauty of Bennington is that there is need to, so we have to reach out and take care of one another. And I think Bennington is the perfect place for this powwow right now. And it's going to be a gathering of that sort, not to make people feel guilty or punish. No, this is a time to begin again, get in alignment, meet your neighbors, your neighbors in Bennington, but also from the region, because people come from all over for this powwow. People who've been coming for years from the Berkshires, from New York, but they also come down from Maine, New Jersey, New Hampshire, all around, Connecticut. People travel to powwows. So these people are your relatives, your family. And then you have your Native American relatives. So that's how it feels. It's like remembering your family, remembering who you are. It's a sacred experience, yet it is a social and fun experience.
Yes. Very well said.
Yay!
Yes. Well, maybe you should do a little dance and then we'll go.
It's good to me. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much,
Yes,
Nathan.
yes.
Thank you for all you do in the community. And Anne,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Okay.
And this was a great time.
Yes.
So come down. There it is. The 11th Annual Rock, Rattle, and Drum American Indian Powwow. Saturday, August 13th and Sunday, August 14th.
With all kinds of amazing and colorful people.
Shall we dance?
Okay. Yes.
I don't know if the music's on, but we can dance.
Okay. You can sing a song while we dance.
So as we said, beauty before you,
Beauty before you,
beauty behind you,
beauty behind you,
beauty below you,
beauty below you,
and beauty above.
and beauty above.
Beauty beside
Beauty
you,
beside you,
and beauty all
and
around
beauty
you,
all around you,
and circling us
encircling us
with love.
with love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nothing?
All right. Totally awesome.